What if that nagging feeling in the back of your neck was real? What if those hands reaching out from the dark that you believed were there were there? What if the monster in the basement really existed? And what if there was really something under the bed? Would you have the courage to face your fears?
Hello, brave souls, and welcome to What Do You Fear, the show where I scour the internet for everything creepy and disturbing. I'm your host, Paul Rondeau, and I hope you're ready for today's story. So today's story is called I'm Locked in a Maplewood Shopping Center After Dark. And the general premise is a former high school hero gets locked in his hometown mall overnight. The story is written by Polterkites, who is one of my absolute favorite writers on Reddit, so let's just get right into the story. Rubbing my eyes, I sat up, looked around, and for a second, I forgot where I even was. I've just been evicted from my shit apartment. Great. I'll just sleep in my shit car for the night. Figure out the next steps, right? But of course, my car was gone. Towed for parking less than a half a foot away from the yellow line. Seriously? Less than a half a foot? On a dead-end street? Half a fucking foot? Now I was homeless, jobless, carless, moneyless, and sleep-deprived. Fantastic. So I wandered into Maplewood Shopping Center, lay down on a bench, shut my eyes, and then I woke up. I woke up and everything was dark. The whole place was empty. Storefronts gated, kiosks draped in blankets. Even the bathrooms were locked. I didn't know they locked the bathrooms at night. Why didn't somebody wake me up? Still groggy, I looked both ways down the darkened hallways. This place hadn't been renovated since the 90s, and you could tell. The main giveaway was the carpeted floor. You know exactly the type of carpet I'm talking about, too. That short, worn-out, velvety shit, splattered with random squiggles and colorful shapes. 90s people really had a thing for squiggly shapes, God bless them. Worse still, shopping malls always creep me the fuck out. Maybe it's the maze-like layouts. Maybe it's the faceless mannequins. Maybe it's the giant posters of happy, smiling people with perfect teeth and perfect clothes and perfect hairlines. It's probably the mannequins, though. I pushed up from the bench, stretched out my arms, and yawned. At this point, I was annoyed, but not much else. This was an easily solvable problem. Find security, explain what happened, they'll let you out, and that's that. I wandered down the dark hallway, passing storefront after storefront. Every single place had a special sale going. What's with that? Like, if there's always a sale, then doesn't that mean that there's never a... Behind me, something thud against the glass. I spun around and gazed into the darkness. The sound echoed in the hallway, like somebody had slammed their forehead against a window. Hey! No response. Only the sound of my own voice dimly echoing back at me. Regressive darkness stretched down a motionless Walmart entrance. Gated bars like clenched teeth. Glints off the logo like spider eyes. Creepy. But I shrugged it off, turned back down the hallway, and pushed forward. Of all the malls to get trapped in, too, why'd it have to be the Maplewood Shopping Center? This place was a minefield of better time memories. Memories that only reminded me of how far I'd fallen. The same mall me and my buddies roamed as kids. We'd sneak in vodka-filled water bottles, shoplift magic cards from Toys R Us, and play Street Fighter II at the now defunct Boxers Arcade. Even my sister bought her camera at Max Cameras over there. This was the first mall I took my first day ever. We watched Star Wars in the matinee cinema and went on the indoor Ferris wheel and held hands in the food court. The same mall I worked my first job, blending smoothies at Fritter's Fruits, also defunct. Thanks, Booster Juice. I don't want to sound bitter, but I know I'm not alone in hating shit that reminds me of your past, especially when your past was infinitely better than your present. Sure, I wasn't the coolest kid in school, but I would have broke top 5. Easily. Just the fact that I have to tell you how cool I was proves how far I've fallen. I was Chuck fucking Bastion, and everyone called me Bastion. Even the teachers. I could do a backflip off solid ground without trying. I could drink a whole 2-6 without puking. I simultaneously held the Street Fighter II high score and the second most touchdowns in high school football. You ever heard of a whole crowd cheering your name? Bastion, Bastion, Bastion. Feels pretty fucking good. My future was brighter than the fucking sun. But now I can't make it up a flight of stairs without losing my breath. Now I can't sit or stand for more than an hour without my fucked up spine screaming at me. Now I'm just some broke loser trapped in Maplewood Shopping Center on a Monday night. My eyes caught something. I looked up. A sign. Directional arrows pointing to customer service, washrooms, and the only thing that mattered, security. Turn left here. Thank God. I picked up the pace. But all the while, two thoughts buzzed in the back of my head like a slipped disc. Don't they usually leave the lights on at night here? And more importantly, what was that thudding sound? Regardless, I reached security in good time. A little office tucked in the back corner of a dead-end hallway. As I approached, I could see the blue glow of a TV screen dancing off the walls, bouncing off the windows. Praise Odin. Part of me was starting to worry that security wouldn't be here. Maybe it was the weird energy in the air. Everything felt so still, like a paused VHS tape. The fact many of you don't even know what a VH tape is, again, proves my irrelevance. I peered in through the shuttered windows. The office was barely bigger than a walk-in closet. One desk in either corner and a washroom door between them. An antique car calendar pinned up on the wall. A half-empty cup of still steaming coffee sat on the desk. An off-white cube monitor cycled through security footage. But nobody was there. Maybe they're in the bathroom. I gently knocked on the glass. No response. I looked down to the bottom of the washroom door. No light. Maybe they're on patrol? Either way, something felt off. I should just dip out through a fire escape. My eyes drifted to the computer screen. Black and white security footage still played out, switching through different cameras all around the mall. The water fountain by the food court, the Ferris wheel by the movie theater, the bench outside the Walmart. The bench I'd been sleeping on. But it wasn't empty. Now somebody was sitting on it. A dark and pixelated shadow, hunched over, elbows resting on their thighs. Maybe the footage was delayed? Maybe the pixelated person was just me from a few minutes before. I checked the time on my wrist. 2:57 a.m. I checked the timestamps on the footage. 2:57 a.m. All right. There's somebody else in the mall. Who cares? Maybe it's security. Maybe you should go back and... Behind me, something thud against the glass. I spun around. The sound echoed in the hallway. The same sound from before, like somebody slammed their forehead against a window. I stood there frozen, eyes scanning every dark corner, every gated storefront. But there was nothing. Nobody. Nothing. Weary, I turned back to the security screen. I almost expected the stranger on the bench to be gone. They weren't. But what I saw was somehow worse. They were sitting upright now, head turned down the hallway, tilted like a hunting dog listening for prey, completely motionless, body language rigid, almost mechanical. And then another thud, this time right beside me. The stranger on the bench slid to standing, bolted down the hallway and off the screen. Fuck me! I started to panic, mainly because I knew exactly where they were going. They were running toward the source of the sound. They were running towards me. Now let me be clear, I'm no fucking hero, but I've never ran from a fight either. Even when the odds were vastly and obviously against me. I've never ran from a fight, even this one time. When the other guy was twice my size and armed with a knife, I didn't run. I should have run, but I didn't run. All that being said, this was different. I didn't even know what I was up against. I didn't even know what this person wanted. All I knew was I felt like something truly incomprehensible and horrific was bolting through the mall, running towards me, hell-bent on only Jesus himself knew what. Eternal misery felt imminent. In the distance, shoes squeaked against tiled flooring, each step slamming louder and louder, closer and closer, each impact filled with unspeakable intent. My eyes shot around, desperately searching for a weapon, someplace to hide, anything. Bingo, a row of old arcade machines, lined up against the far wall. I knew from experience searching for fallen coins, the machines were always placed about a foot away from the wall. My feet carried me over before my brain even gave the order. All the while, the approaching stranger was getting closer and closer, about to round the corner, and I slipped behind the arcades. A little more cramped than I'd liked, but better than being out in the open, cornered at a dead-end hallway. I wedged myself further into hiding. The running slid to a stop. I couldn't see them, but I imagined them standing there, about 50 feet away, manic eyes scanning the dead-end hallway, searching for the source of the sound. A long and deafening silence crawled by. Nothing but the musty smell of soda-stained carpet to keep me company. A few more minutes went by until a footstep. But this was different. It wasn't the sound of a shoe against tile. It was the sound of a sock gently scraping against carpet. They ditched their shoes. This motherfucker was wearing socks now. A sickening chill went up my spine. A chill of fear. A twisting fear that would quickly replace with shame. What the hell happened to me? Hiding from one dude? Cowering behind arcade boxes like Norman fucking Wallaby? The old me, the king of them all, bashed in the scrapper. He'd be out there kicking this guy's teeth in by now. Or at the very least, trying to. I huffed, shifted forward, and took a deep breath. No more hiding. But my burst of bravery jumped ship, and it jumped ship for a good fucking reason. It jumped ship because I could now hear the stranger speaking, about 20 feet away. The stranger was whispering to himself. "This fucking mall," he stammered. "First date at the Ferris wheel. Same Ferris wheel. That's the same Ferris wheel. I wonder what she's doing now," he whispered, numb and empty. I don't know why, or more importantly how, but this guy was repeating my earlier thoughts aloud, like he'd been listening in, like he was a broken recording of my own mind. "Why did I dump her?" the stranger continued. "I wonder if she's married now. Oh wait, she dumped me because I cheated, right? Fuck, that was stupid. So fucking stupid, Chuck." He chuckled, bitterly. "Is the tape delayed?" The stranger sighed. "Who's this guy on the bench? Security, maybe." This was not my night. I leaned back into hiding. No way was I getting back out of this through force. I hadn't been in a fight since college anyway, so instead, I waited, breathing quiet, peering out through a crack between the arcade machines, watching as a stranger paced back and forth, whispering, rambling, occasionally hitting himself in the head with a closed fist. I shut my eyes and focused on breathing. One breath in, one breath out. One breath in, one breath. Right beside me, a whirring of fans, beeping and buzzing sprang to life. My eyes snapped open. "Street Fighter 2! A baritone voice proclaimed. The machine I was hiding behind had turned on itself. "Fuck, fuck, fuck! Insert coins!" The overzealous announcer insisted. "Insert coins!" I peered out through the crack. The stranger was looking towards me now, head tilted, again like a curious hunting dog. He took a step closer. Another step. The dancing glow of the arcade machine bounced off his face now. He was still too distant to see fully. But even from here, he looked ordinary. Bland even. Just an average 30-something white guy. No carnival smile, no long teeth, no oversized mouth. Just a bored-looking dude with a boring-looking face. The kind of face you forgot about the second it left your line of sight. I don't know why, but seeing this was somehow worse than seeing a grinning maniac with too many teeth. There was something vaguely familiar about him, too. Like I'd seen him before. Maybe in a dream? Finally, I snapped back into problem-solving mode. First, I reached down and yanked out Street Fighter 2's power cable. Darkness. Silence. I looked up. The crack between the machines was now blocked by shadow. The stranger was standing right there, peering through. staring directly at me. Faint moonlight reflecting off his unblinking eyes. "It's okay," he said calmly. "It's okay. Don't run." He stepped closer and slid his hand between the machines toward me. "Don't run." He reached closer. "Don't be a Norman Wallaby." His calm facade broke into laughter, like he just remembered the punchline of some ancient joke. A strange, stammering, forced laughter. "Bastion," he said, wheezing as he reached toward me, eyes bulging. "Chuck, Bastion." His laughter grew more hysterical with each passing second. "Chuck fucking Bastion," he howled. Hand mere inches from my face now, reaching, stretching, grabbing. Enough! I reached up, grabbed his forearm, and yanked him closer. His laughing only grew louder now, more hysterical, like a poor man's Joker. I pushed his arm to the side, pressing it against the corner of an arcade box. His laughing turned slightly confused. I gripped my teeth, and with all my strength, all my weight, I lunged forward and his forearm snapped with a satisfying crack, like a tree branch breaking in the wind. But he didn't scream. He didn't cry. He just kept laughing, louder and louder, manic howling. His voice seemed to reverberate from the walls now, from the air itself. Oh no, he wheezed, staggering back from the machine, gasping for breath between each burst of forced laughter. His snapped forearm was dangling uselessly beside him. But I didn't care about that. Now, he was right where I wanted him. He was in the fucking dead zone. I twisted sideways, pressed my back up against the wall, and my feet up against the back of the Street Fighter II. I pushed with all my strength, and the machine lurched forward, crashing on top of him with an echoing boom. I lunged over top and scrambled away, glancing back over my shoulder just before the rounding the corner. The stranger lay on the floor, both legs pinned between the arcade box, snapped arm flailing limply at his side. Somehow, he was laughing even harder now, laughing so hard it looked like his eyes might burst right through the skull. "Chuck fucking Bastion," he wheezed, head shaking with every syllable. But I was already gone, hauling ass, running faster than I ever run, Longdale's high game winning touchdown included. I skid around the next corner, and my eyes landed on a sign that read, "Fire escape. Joy," just in time, but he was somehow in hot pursuit once again. I had no clue how he was running with two mangled legs, but I didn't have time to think about it. "Chuck, wait!" he screamed, still barely able to get a word out between all the laughter. "Chuck, I just want to talk. Chuck, come on, Chuck!" I burst out through the doors into a maintenance hallway. Fuck, another concrete maze. 3 different paths. All the while, Laughing Boy was gaining on me. I glanced up. Fire escape. I beelined rightward down the hallway. Barely made it 20 feet when the doors behind me burst open. "But wait," he gasped, sounding out of breath now. "Please, wait," he said. "Don't leave." He wasn't laughing now. He almost sounded scared. I sprinted down the long stretch of hallway. The exit felt impossibly far away, like the length of a football field. But I kept running, pushing harder, faster, tingling pain reverberating through every inch of my aging corpse. The stranger was getting closer with each pass. "Bastion, Bastion, Bastion," he said, his voice building each time, his voice splitting into dozens. Hundreds of different voices, a growing audience, applause included. "Bastion, Bastion, Bastion." But they weren't cheering my name, they were mocking it, like patronizing bullies cheering the slowest kid in the race. "Bastion, Bastion, Bastion." I only ran faster, the door pulling closer and closer all the while. Red exit sign like a beacon of desperate hope. "Wait, Chuck, please," he whined, his voice back to the singular. "Please, Chuck, don't leave me here." And now he was weeping and terrified. "Chuck, please," he moaned, still somehow gaining on me, right on my heels until I burst out through the door, spun around and slammed my body against it, bracing for a struggle. But no struggle came. No banging on the door, no weeping, no laughing, only complete and utter silence. As if the second I stepped outside, the stranger ceased to exist. I waited there, bracing against the door for a good minute. But then another thought crept over me. Other exits. What if he was going to another exit? I set my ear against the cold metal door and listened. Muffled whispers. "Fucking loser. Fucking loser. Fucking broke loser. You used to be a hero. You used to be a fucking hero. Now you're just an aging, homeless, fucking nobody. Fucking worthless. The stranger was back to whisper my own self-abusive thoughts aloud. Fuck this. I stepped carefully back from the door and crept away backward, bit by bit, eyes locked on the door all the while. I did this for about 20 feet. Then, I turned around and ran. Ran in a straight line down the cold winter streets of my childhood town. I ran past Greenridge Park, the same park Chris got into a fight with Jason back in freshman year. I ran past Amy's house on Baker Street, the same house we found her cat Marble under the couch nursing a fresh litter of kittens. I ran past Baker's View Hospital, the same hospital my grandmother died in her sleep while I slept in a chair in the corner of the room. I kept running, breathing fog, lungs burning, a run that turned into a jog that turned into a walk that turned into a trudge. But I just kept going, exhausted, dragging my feet, getting as much distance between me and that mall as humanly possible, and that was it. Disappointing, I know. But don't worry, it gets even more disappointing. I never went back. I never investigated. Honestly, I don't even care about what happened. I'm perfectly content not knowing. I never found a psychic priest or someone who explained what went down and what I need to do to defeat it. I never found an old book in a dusty library telling me the stranger was a demon from the seventh circle of Hades, intent on devouring my soul or something. None of that shit. Just a weird, traumatizing encounter with God knows what. Unexplained, meaningless. It's been 3 years since that night in the mall, and I'm still getting over it. Something tells me it's not the last time I'll encounter that mind-reading lunatic. But who knows? Either way, I'm just glad I'm free. Am I alive? Thanks for asking. I'd like to say I turned myself around, but it didn't. I mean, sure, my life's a little less shit than it was 3 years back. I'm living with my sister in Tulsa now. I got a part-time gig selling used phones. But everything's still shit. Especially compared to my peak. I guess we all peak at some point, right? Everybody hits the best day they'll ever have. And then it's all downhill from there till deathbed. I think my peak was in high school. Scoring the game-winning touchdown against Longdale High. Your peak might be today, tomorrow, 5 years from now, 5 years back. That's it. Everybody peaks. That's all. There's a lesson, I guess. Maybe. Fuck. That's probably not a good thing to believe, even if it's true. Either way, I'm not the guy you should be getting life advice from. Anyway, since you made it to the end, I'll let you in on the moral of the story. Don't get locked in the Maplewood Shopping Center after dark. Oh man, I love Poltergeist stories. He did the Man in My Basement Gets One Step Closer every week story, though it's like 3 hours long. It's insane. I like that this guy, how do I put it? He talks a lot like I do. I swear a lot. Like, I try not to swear too much in these stories, but it felt really good to swear like this guy. And he seems to have a similar personality as I do. You know, he's just crabby all the time, kind of shitty all the time, just in a bad mood in general. And I also like how it ended the way it ended. It's like, oh yeah, my life is still a pile of shit. And it's all shitty. It's not good. It's not good for anybody. I loved it. Oh man. But yeah, I want to take a moment to thank the author Polterkites. If you do want to check out more of his stories, which you should because they're really good, he's trying to do this like whole Poltergeist universe thing, which is really neat. I'll put the link to his subreddit down in the description. Yeah, it's stories like his and other authors that make it really fun to create this show for you guys. And I'd honestly like to thank you. Yeah. You, the person listening to this story right now. I really appreciate that you took the time out of your day to sit and listen to my goofy voice tell these stories. If you enjoyed the story, there's a back catalog of other stories. They're not as personality filled as this one. I don't know why. I'm trying something different this time. But yeah, again, I really appreciate that you took the time out of your day. And make sure you tune in next week for more spine-chilling stories. Thank you again. And remember, guys and gals, to always face your fears. Have a good one. Peace.